You've probably seen it 100 times. That innocent little phrase on your snack label, made with natural flavors. Sounds healthy, right? Like your granola bar was handcrafted by woodland elves using dewdrops and sunshine. But here's the twist. Natural flavor might not be as, well, natural as you think. So, what does that label really mean? And how did it become the food industry's favorite magic word? Let's find out, right here, on History of Food. The phrase natural flavor sounds reassuring, like a promise from nature itself. But in the world of food marketing, words are slippery little things. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, defines natural flavor as anything derived from a natural source, like plants, fruits, or even animals. But that definition leaves a lot of wiggle room. Once the source is natural, scientists can process, refine, distill, or manipulate it in almost any way imaginable, and it still qualifies as natural. That means your natural strawberry flavor might start with a real strawberry. Still, after all the chemical tinkering, it could end up being just a complex cocktail of lab-made compounds designed to taste like strawberries. So yes, natural flavor technically comes from nature, but so does crude oil, arsenic, and pufferfish venom. To understand how we got here, let's rewind to the late 1800s, when the Industrial Food Revolution changed everything. As food started being mass-produced and shipped long distances, flavor, that fresh, vibrant punch we take for granted, began to fade. People didn't want their canned peaches or powdered soups to taste like metal and sadness. Enter flavor chemistry. Scientists began isolating the molecules responsible for taste and aroma, figuring out how to recreate them. The goal was simple: make processed food taste like the real thing again. However, soon flavor houses, companies that specialize in creating flavors, took it to the next level. By the mid-20th century, firms like Givaudan, Firmenich, and International Flavors and Fragrances were working with brands like Coca-Cola, Frito-Lay, and Nestlé to engineer flavors that didn't just taste good, they were addictive. That's when the line between natural and artificial started to blur. Here's the plot twist. Chemically speaking, natural flavors and artificial flavors are often identical. Both are made up of the same flavor molecules. The difference lies only in the source. If a flavor molecule comes from a plant or animal, it's labeled natural. If it's made synthetically in a lab, it's artificial. But the result? The same on a molecular level. Your taste buds can't tell the difference, and your body certainly doesn't care. In fact, sometimes artificial flavors are cleaner because they're more consistent. Natural flavors can vary depending on harvest conditions or extraction methods, while artificial ones are pure, stable, and predictable. It's like buying bottled water. Whether it came from a pristine mountain spring or a factory tap, it's still H2O, just with better marketing. Now here's where things get weird. Some natural flavors come from places you'd never expect or want to think about while eating. For example, one of the most famous natural flavoring agents is castoreum, a compound extracted from the scent glands of beavers, located right near their tails. It's been used to add a vanilla-like aroma to some foods and perfumes. Don't worry, though. It's rarely used today because it's expensive and, well, a little awkward to explain. Another fun example. Certain fruit flavors are derived from fermented plant material, yeast cultures, or bacterial reactions that mimic the flavor profile of, say, a mango or raspberry, even if no actual fruit was involved. So the next time you sip a natural fruit smoothie, remember, it might have seen more of a petri dish than an orchard. If natural and artificial flavors are so similar, why do companies love that word so much? Simple. Marketing. Consumers are drawn to the word natural. It sounds wholesome, safe, and healthy, like the food version of a warm hug. And in an age when people are terrified of chemicals, brands know exactly what to say to make their products feel guilt-free. Artificial flavor sounds like a neon sign flashing science and unhealthy, while natural flavor whispers, "Don't worry, this granola bar is practically a salad." So even if the chemical makeup is identical, the label alone can boost sales, proving once again that in food marketing, perception is everything. Now, here's the kicker. Natural flavors are one of the least transparent ingredients in the food industry. Companies don't have to disclose what's actually in them. They're considered trade secrets. That means your natural flavor could include hundreds of individual compounds, solvents, or preservatives, all hidden under one friendly-sounding label. It's basically the culinary version of don't ask, don't tell. Some flavoring agents can even trigger allergies or sensitivities. But because the specific components aren't listed, consumers have no idea what they're actually eating. So, while natural flavors sound simple, they're actually one of the most complex and secretive ingredients in your pantry. Fun fact, flavorists, yes, that's a real job title, are like modern-day wizards of taste. They can recreate the flavor of anything from strawberries to sizzling bacon without ever touching the real thing. Some companies even use flavor profiles based on emotional reactions, meaning they design flavors that feel comforting, nostalgic, or exciting. It's not just about taste, it's about memory and emotion. That's why your favorite childhood snack still hits the same even decades later. It's engineered that way. The good news is, natural flavors aren't inherently dangerous. They're regulated and tested for safety. But the bad news is, we often don't know how much is too much, or how these additives interact when consumed regularly over years. The real issue isn't toxicity, it's transparency. When food labels hide behind vague terms, it makes it harder for consumers to make informed choices. Additionally, relying on engineered flavors can alter our perception of real food. If everything we eat tastes hyper-intense, sweeter, saltier, fruitier, actual fruit or plain grains might start to seem boring. Our palates get tricked into expecting more flavor all the time. Here's the irony. As people rush to avoid artificial ingredients, companies simply tweak their formulas and slap natural on the label, even if the end product is chemically identical. It's a marketing loophole that exploits our affinity for the word natural, even though in the modern food industry that term may mean less than ever. So the next time you grab something made with natural flavors, just remember, it's not a lie, but it's not the whole truth either. Natural doesn't always mean good, and artificial doesn't always mean bad. Sometimes it's just clever wording hiding behind chemistry. But here's the twist. Whether your flavor comes from a fruit or a beaker, your taste buds don't care. They just want that hit of nostalgia, sweetness, or spice. So maybe the most natural flavor of all is marketing. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.